Distinguished adjudicators, Adeyemi Idowu is my name, from the University of Ibadan with matric number 170344. And I'm here to answer in affirmation to the question in contention. The problem of corruption is unsolvable in human society? Yes. According to Transparency International in 2016, corruption is defined as the use of entrusted power for private gains. So let us get it clear and not get it twisted, so that the shadows of sentiment will not shield our sight from the realities of logic. Foremost, the problem of corruption is insolvable in human society because various historical, political, and philosophical examples in history have shown that man is an insatiable animal that can get enough of his need, but not enough of his greed. The 2016 Corruption Perception Index, reported by Transparency International, puts the corruption index of the United States of America at 74. In Nigeria, where corruption is the official practice of our public officers, the corruption index is 28. The ratio of occurrence may be different, but the reality is, corruption exists even in the seemingly most decent corners of the world. Therefore, that utopian society, where the problem of corruption is solved or eradicated, is one that we can only aspire to, but can never acquire. Besides, corruption is a system, not an individual. Corruption is nature, not nurtured. It is inherent, not created. For only a thing that is created can be destroyed by its creator. Therefore, it suffices to say that corruption is man, and man is corruption. Just a month ago, Adeyemi, a social commentator, reported a statement of Ibrahim Magu, the chairman of EFCC, in an article saying that some EFCC officers are being tried for corrupt practices. Invariably, we have automatically entrusted the responsibility of curbing corruption into the hands of corrupt officers. That sounds as ridiculous as making a cat the custodian of your fish. Little wonder, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, once remarked, "Those who fight corruption must be clean themselves. But show me a society with clean men that can combat corruption, and I will show you a society occupied by angels, not by men." Finally, should my opponent decide to argue that reducing corruption is the same thing as solving the problem of corruption, let us be reminded that the silence of evil is not an evidence of its absence. It is high time we understood that there are some battles that will never be won in human society. And sadly, solving the problem of corruption is one of them.
Distinguished judges, Thanni Obafemi is my name, of the matric number 198198, University of Ibadan. I'm speaking in opposition to the aforementioned topic. In affirming that corruption, like many other problems, can be solved, clarity is required in definition and perception. Might my opponent be willing to reduce his blinding passion to be able to see that the solution to corruption lies not in its eradication, but in its depletion to a bare minimum? For corruption, like a disease, could have its political pathogens or bureaucratic vectors quarantined to a minimum, not to extinction. My opponent's arguments stem from the pessimistic perspective that corruption has in its core the human nature that through a parasitic survival feeds off man's intoxicating addiction to wealth and power. In an attempt to clarify human nature is evil, but goodness is achieved by intentional activity. The solution to corruption, hence, is an intentional activity where we prepare for the worst, yet hope for the best. By doubling the repercussion for corruption, corruption is solved by reduction, not eradication. By intentional activity, a welfare scheme for public servants would suffice in solving corruption, as they are most prone to corrupt practices, thereby filtering the corruption of greed from the corruption of need. To a great extent, countries with a highly concentrated amount of corruption are blamed for not enforcing laws bordering on taxation, money laundering, and bribery or corruption, the case at hand. If it had been enforced, just like in the case of countries with whistleblowing policy, taxation laws, or the USA's very own New Deal in the 1930s under the Roosevelt administration, it would have shown to curb corruption. Alan Greenspan, American economist, states, corruption, embezzlement, fraud. These are all characteristics that exist everywhere. It is sadly the way human nature functions. What successful economies do is bring it to a minimum. No one has successfully eliminated any of that. In the light of these, I would again affirm that the problem of corruption is solvable in human society.